Nobody wanted this, nobody asked for it, but we're doing it anyways. Welcome to the Stormbreakers Weather Report, Episode 3, the podcast where Marvel Crisis Protocol Chaos gets a forecast. I'm your host, Devin, Devloaf, and Longshanks, and with me today I have Cory, which we've heard from before. Say hi, Cory.
Hi, Cory.
You fucking asshole. And we've got Dustin here. Say hi, Dustin.
My job was to make fun of Corey's intro,
Yeah?
but I want to point out that as soon as Devin heard it, he couldn't contain
No,
himself.
I couldn't. I absolutely couldn't. I had to.
He didn't even give me the intro. I had so much stuff planned.
Would you like to
Yes.
say more, Cory?
Absolutely,
Go
always.
ahead.
Oh, do not. We have a guest.
Oh, that's fair. That's fair. And so Cory
Fine.
and Dustin have both been on the podcast before, but today we have a new guy with us, new to the podcast as well as new to MCP entirely. Aaron, say hi.
Hello, how you doing?
Pretty good, pretty good. How long you been playing? What's your favorite affiliation, and who's your nemesis?
Okay. Um, so I've been playing for I think maybe a month.
Nice.
Yeah, about that. I've gotten thanks to you as well. I've gotten maybe 8 games in, 8 to 10 games now, and my favorite affiliation so far is Avengers. It's also the primary one I've played, but they're been really fun. It's got a couple characters I really like in there, like Hulk and Captain America. And
Nice.
then you currently are my nemesis.
Okay. All right.
I have to beat you.
You'll get there, I assure you.
I like that question because I think we all have MCP nemesis.
Yeah?
And
Do you have one?
who's your guys'? Oh, yeah, Ryan.
Ryan's
I
your
can never
nemesis?
beat Ryan. Yeah. Like Ryan sometimes talks about like players he can't beat, and I'm like, oh, I beat them all the time, but I can't beat Ryan.
What about you, Cory?
Have you ever looked at the moon and
Wait,
wondered if your
what?
nemesis was? Have you ever looked at the moon and wondered if your nemesis was looking at the moon too? And you're like, hey, it's my fucking turn to look at the moon, you asshole.
I I have not.
Joe,
That's my answer.
Okay, so is the moon your nemesis, or is someone else looking at the moon somewhere else in the world your nemesis?
It depends on if it's in retrograde or not.
I I'm
hey,
more confused than I started.
You're welcome.
Thank you. I think I think my nemesis. So my local nemesis has to be Ian. Uh, Not that I can't beat him, but he is definitely the one that throws down the biggest fight. And then I think that my global nemesis is probably Johnny Pastrami, who's the guy that runs the TTS leagues. He stomps my ass every time I play him.
good nemesis, guys. I'm glad we're building the podcast on hatred. Let's
that's
do it.
that's one of the best ways.
That's why you
Um,
have to.
Dustin has joined us a little bit here for the podcast, but he's also said that he has better things to do. So we've shifted a little bit to allow him to plug his thing for tomorrow. Actually, you want to talk about it, buddy?
Yeah, you're 100% correct. I do have better things to do, and that is putting on the hobby swap meet tomorrow. Um, it's going to be a Paradox trading post, and it's from 1 to 6 p.m. Um, it's just a really fun event. So, Devin, have you been to?
Yeah,
You've
I've
been to
been.
one of the swap meets.
I sure have.
How would you describe like the energy
Oh my
in the room?
gosh, it is. If you went to as a child or even more recently any of the flea markets where you have like 2 hours to buy everything and they set up shop and close up shop in 4 hours. That is the energy that you get from this trade, this swap meet. Because everyone who's has any idea that it's happening brings all of their crap and they set it on a table and then people sift through it and get ridiculous deals at the swap meet. It's almost like an episode of what's that show where they buy storage lockers. That's what it feels
Storage
like.
Wars?
Yeah, yeah, that's what it feels like.
Yeah, man, I 100% agree. Like, I've gotten so many deals there. Like, I know people can't see it, but like I'm smiling so big because this is, I do it for my real estate work. This is part of it. I want to connect with the community, but it is genuinely like one of my favorite days of the quarter.
That's
Like
awesome.
everybody has a great time. I have a great time. People get crazy stories. People get rid of the shit that they've been holding on to their whole lives. That box of Death Guard that you got when you were 14 and did it since.
Yeah,
Like,
some crazy stuff.
yeah,
So 1 to
Plan on
6
being there.
1 to 6 p.m. Sunday, the 15th of December. Paradox Trading Post, Lacey Olympia. Uh, Look us up. I'll put the link in the chat. And I'm sure everyone local knows where that's at. But if you don't, yeah, we can.
it's
I'll
on
put it
the
on there.
it's on the Eventbrite link that you had for the last episode, I believe. So,
Yep, I'll put it on this one as well.
yeah, cool.
All right. Well, since we're in the mood of plugging, Cory, do you have anything that you'd like to add? I don't have anything to plug. This is my only popularity right here. This is all I got.
That's a lie. I mean, you also have Crosshair Gaming
That's
when
true.
you
That's true.
occasionally post, battle reports and stuff like that.
That's true. That's true.
But yeah, my spiel is, I own and operate Blitz Mini Studios, a commission painting service here in the Pacific Northwest. I also do Twitch streaming for Paradox Trading Post at twitch.tv/Paradox Syndicate. And I also do YouTube videos for uh, Paradox Trading Post as well at youtube.com/Paradox Syndicate.
Excellent. Excellent.
Fast and sweet.
Uh, Connor actually commented on our Twitch and said he was really pumped for the hobby swap tomorrow, Dustin, and he said thank you again for hosting it.
Yeah, no, I'm excited, man. It's not just me. Like I have to thank Paradox and all the stores and spaces that have accepted us into their doors. It's not an easy thing for a store to say like, "Hey, can I host a free event here?" So it really speaks to the community.
Yeah, we're happy to have you. And then, Aaron, I don't know if you do any streaming or any podcasting other than hanging out with us, but if you do, here's your moment to plug it.
No, thanks for asking. I don't do anything extra right now. Just work, just MCP in the evenings, and the other 6 tabletop games I play.
Awesome, awesome. It's all good. That's all good. So now that we've shouldered the burden of Dustin's task of getting the plugging out of the way first, I wanted to jump into one of my favorite parts of the podcast, and that is the game. This is a guessing game of sorts in which I give you the abilities of a character from the bottom of the card up, and you have 3 chances, so 3 abilities, to guess the character that I'm mentioning using only the abilities that I've given you. If you get it on the first try, you get 5 points. If you get it on the second try, you get 3 points. And if you have to get it on the third try, it's 1 point. And obviously, if you don't get it, 0 points. You 3 will be competing in this game. Don't worry, Aaron. We're not going to make fun of you if you don't know.
You guys hear me?
Get it?
Yeah, I can hear you, Dustin.
Okay, my Discord just froze, so I had to restart it. I'm
Ah,
sorry, I
okay.
didn't hear
All right.
anything past the game.
No, I was just going over the game. You played it last week, so you should know how it works, right?
Yeah, I totally remember last week.
All right. Well, if you don't remember last week, I'm listing the abilities from the bottom of the character card up. If you get it on the first try, you get 5 points. Get it on the second try, you get 3 points. And the third try, you get 1 point. And I'll be giving each of you one, and then they'll get progressively harder as we go. The characters that I give you will get harder. So I'm going to do an easium, a medium, and a hard. And we are just going to get started right away with an easy one. Who would like to go first?
I remembered the rules before that. I just wanted you to do that, so I will go first.
Okay. Well, you're a dick. Are you ready?
Yeah.
The first ability on this character's card is called Only the Strong Remain.
Only the strong remain. So like I said last week, I don't know a ton of Marvel lore, so like even the generic taglines are hard for me. But I'm thinking this is going to be like some sort of villain, of course.
Okay.
I I feel like it's either Doctor Doom or Apocalypse, but I'm going to say
Well, there's
Apocalypse.
not a Doctor Doom in the game at the moment, so that really narrows it down, I think.
See, I just got lost in like, who do I know that's bad in Marvel? I'm going to say Apocalypse.
That is a great guess. You're getting it on the first try. That is Apocalypse. 5 points for Dustin. All right, Cory, I'm gonna have you go second. I'm gonna see if
All right.
I can get you a easy one. From the bottom of the character card. This should be actually pretty easy, I think. The first ability at the bottom is Bad Luck.
That would be Black Cat.
Hey, he got it. I gave you an easy one, and he picked it up right away. That's 5 points to Cory. All right. Well, Aaron, I know that you're new to the game, but I'm going to try and pick a character that you've played with, or at least that I know that you've played with, that would be easy for you to pick up on.
That's fair. Don't go too easy on me, but hit me with it.
No worries. All right, so this one is called You Won't Like Me When I'm Angry.
I feel like that's got to be Hulk, right?
That is correct. It is Hulk.
Okay. I was
5
second guessing
points
myself
all
there.
around. Yeah, I'm surprised that one just didn't roll off your tongue there. That one was pretty easy, I think. But I know that you've been playing a lot of Hulk, and I know that he's a favorite. Pretty much anytime anybody begins the game, he's a favorite. So
Yeah.
I figured you'd know that one.
I appreciate it.
That a mobile 20 health bomb is fun. Like
Yeah, he's fun. He's fun.
Ian would not say he's fun.
Ian would say that he's fun, I think.
I want to say that it's been interesting to see how different people deal with my Hulk and making him like less effective. It's very interesting.
Yeah, what do you think is best versus worst case as a new player when people are trying to deal with your Hulk?
Honestly, the movement when I played against you, just throwing him away, pushing
displacement.
him back,
Yeah, makes sense.
displacement. That was the way to go.
Gotcha. All right. Well, let's go back up to the top here, Dustin. I'm going to give you a medium one. This one, I would say, is a little bit harder. What was that?
Just like your wife gets.
Oh. And without further ado, the first ability at the bottom of this character sheet is called You Call That a Punch?
Oh. I know this one.
I'm sure you do.
I feel like this is a Captain America. I'm gonna say Cap 3 because he's the one I know the worst.
Okay, that is incorrect. Unfortunately, it's not a Captain America.
Okay.
The second ability for 3 points is called Higher, Further, Faster.
Oh, this is Captain Marvel, right? That's my guess.
I mean, there are two.
Oh, okay. The second one.
Good
Marvel
guess.
2.
Good guess. All right, that is correct. It is the second Captain Marvel, the 5 threat. You get 3 points, putting Dustin up to a solid 8 points. All right, Cory, let's see if you can match him or do better than him even.
All right.
I'm going to say this one's a medium only because there are a few characters that have this first ability that I'm going to give you. So it will be hard on the first question. I feel like it'll get pretty easy on the second one. Are you ready?
Ready.
The first ability is called Radar Sense.
Radar Sense. This would be Daredevil.
All right, good guess. That is 5 points. I figured with Radar Sense, I know there's at least 3 characters that have it. You might guess the wrong one. But I knew
I would not have gotten that.
No, you wouldn't have gotten that. I know
I've never played Daredevil.
Oh, okay, that's fair too. I know that Corey's had some run-ins with defenders, not to mention he's been studying up on them recently. Uh,
Yep.
but I knew when you hit the second ability, Man Without Fear, that is
Oh yeah.
100% a Daredevil guess. But
Well, I mean, Daredevil is like one of my top 5 favorite Marvel characters too. So
okay, all right.
yeah.
That's a good way to assess a medium, by the way. I like that system. Like,
Yeah?
could you get it on the first one? Could you get it on the second one?
Yeah. That's kind of what I'm going for. And then I usually make my hard ones. The first ability is like something stupid like stealth or wall crawler or something
Yeah,
really hard to get.
that got
Um,
me last week. I was
yeah,
like,
yeah,
oh.
exactly. So we got Corey in the lead with 10, Dustin second with 8, and now Aaron, I'm going to give you another one here. This one I would also say is a medium. I would add though, just because you're new, you have played with this character. I know that you
Okay,
have.
thank you for the hint.
The first ability is called Vibranium Shield.
Okay. That feels a little easy, but I don't think that's Captain America.
You don't think that it is?
No, that it is. Sorry.
All right, so there are 3 of them.
Oh, fair. Well, I've only played the one, so that hint helps out a lot. I'm gonna go with Captain America 1.
Well, that's a good guess. It is Steve Rogers, Captain America 1. So you'll tie the lead with Corey. Dustin,
There are
you're
4
dragging
Captain
behind.
America.
Is there 4? Oh, there's one that nobody considers because he doesn't have a leadership unless you give him a tactics card. I forgot about him.
Okay.
All
Sam
right.
Wilson and the other 3.
We're gonna send a hard one for you, Mr.
That's how I like them.
All right, this one should be difficult until the last ability, I think. Let's go. Interesting. Hard to find them too. Yeah, I think this is probably a 2 or a 3 guess. You ready? First
Yes,
ability,
sir.
Healing Factor.
Oh, can you tell me if it's healing factor 1 or 2?
Yes, I will let you know it is Healing Factor 1.
Okay.
Hmm.
Man, there's so many.
There are absolutely a bunch. This is mostly just a can you guess it, just right off the top, and get lucky.
I believe Honey Badger has healing factor 1, doesn't she?
She does.
I'm gonna guess Honey Badger.
That is incorrect.
Okay.
The second ability is Strategic Genius.
Strategic Genius and healing factor. That would be Baron Strucker.
That is correct. For
Hey.
an extra 3 points, putting you up to 11, which means Aaron and Corey, you only need to get it on the second try to beat Dustin here. But I'm not gonna make it so easy.
Oh.
I need to find one. Corey, you're very knowledgeable, so I need to find one that might stump you. And that is difficult to do because you played quite a bit.
Who is the most generic character in MCP is essentially what you're trying to figure out.
I mean, there is Spider-Man. I could just say, hey, like pick one of the many Spider-Men and like start listing off abilities and he'll have no idea until we get further down.
You could even tell him spiders in the name.
Yeah, he wouldn't be able to guess it. Here we go.
I think that's a good challenge.
I think this one will be difficult, and he'll be lucky if he gets it on the last one, I think. This one's hard. All right, you ready, Corey?
Yeah.
First ability, Flight.
Oh boy.
Good luck.
So you're going with like the most generic character.
I did not say
no
that.
one. I know.
Okay.
This is me thinking out loud. You're going
Okay.
with the most generic character that no one has ever played in about 2.5 years.
Oh my goodness.
I'm gonna go with War Machine.
Okay, all right. I thought you were gonna hit it right off the gate. That is incorrect. I was like,
Too
wow, Can you imagine?
War
uh,
Machine is the most generic.
that
The fool me once or whatever.
War
Yeah,
Machine hasn't been used. I'll give him that. That is definitely correct. Nobody uses War Machine for the most part.
yeah.
All right,
He needs
second
help.
ability for 3 points and to steal the lead, stealth.
Okay.
So you now
Flight
have flight
and
and stealth.
hmm.
Oh man, same stat bar. I don't think we've seen that before.
Flight and stealth. Hmm. That is real difficult.
I bet it. Yeah, it does not narrow down very well at all.
Nope. Well, it probably does, but I can't think who has flight and stealth that isn't just a wall crawler. Is it actually stealth,
It is actual
or is it
stealth. It's not like
actually?
it's not
Okay.
like a brand of stealth. It's not like
No.
Nightcrawler or Storm or anything.
Okay. Okay. Cool. Fucking hell.
We've got a guess from the audience. Connor says wasp. That is incorrect.
That is not. Yeah, that's not right.
You should
She.
treat the guesses from the audience as what do they call them? Call-ins. Like you get
Call-ins?
one
Yeah.
call-in.
You're getting the hint of it's not wasp. That's the hint.
I'm not phoning Connor for anything. Uh, if I need a waifu pillow, maybe
There you
I'll get
go.
a
There you go.
I'll
Connor's
get a
good at those.
suggestion. Let's see. I just gotta throw something out there now.
Yeah, just guess away.
I think it's an old character. I have no guess. I have none.
No
My
guess,
guess is
nothing.
none. I had
You're not
nothing.
even gonna take a chance at anything. All
I
right.
don't. Do you know any characters that have flight or stealth besides Wasp? Like, can you name any?
No.
Yeah.
I'll guess.
It's a hard one.
I'll guess Spider Woman because it's wrong, but
Yes, that
because
is
she doesn't have flight.
incorrect.
She it literally says it on the card. I don't
Yeah.
fly, I glide.
Yeah.
But whatever.
All
Yeah.
right. And for the final ability to tie up the lead and potentially give Aaron the chance to win it out, the last and third ability for 1 point is called Smoke and Mirrors.
Ah, son of a bitch! It's Mysterio.
I knew it. I knew the third ability would give it away.
Oh,
That is
man.
correct. It is Mysterio. We have.
That was a tough one.
Yeah, it was definitely a difficult
That was
one.
hard.
I'm glad that at least one of the ones that I picked it was hard.
As soon as you said the third ability,
You knew it too?
Yeah.
Even I knew that one.
Yeah, Mysterio for sure. All right,
Yeah.
Aaron. This last one will be hard, and you may or may not have played with this character.
Okay.
So I'm not giving any hints on this one.
Bring it
will
on.
Be difficult. Let's see. I gotta find one with a pretty typical ability. Here we go. Ready?
Ready.
First ability at the very bottom for 5 points and to steal for first place, stealth.
Gamora.
just throw one out there.
Yeah, it's gonna be difficult. Connor said Wasp was the only character he knew with stealth and flight.
I'm gonna do Gamora. Final answer.
All right, Gamora is incorrect.
Okay.
But you might be on the right path. The second ability for 3 points and to put you in the lead for first to steal the game, and you can call the other guys losers if you win. The second ability is martial artist. So stealth and martial artist.
Tough.
Also an ability that is somewhat widespread.
Okay. I want to say.
The guess from the audience, Sin, is not correct.
What was the guess?
Sin. The character
okay.
Sin. Not correct.
I said I was on the right track with Gamora, so maybe it's a Guardians of the Galaxy character with stealth and what was the other one?
Martial artist.
Martial artist. Okay. She has assassin, I think. I don't know if she has stealth.
As a new character, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. Martial artist is if you're within 2 attacking with a physical or energy attack, they count blanks in their defense roll.
Okay.
I don't know if that helps you or not, but I know both the other 2 guys would know what I was talking about if I said martial artist.
There. Okay. It's not Gamora's sister. What is her name? Nebula.
Her name is Nebula. Is that your guess?
I am gonna guess Nebula.
Okay, that is incorrect.
Okay.
Looks like we might end up with a 3-way tie here. Or,
we're gonna need a lightning round.
Or you're gonna be last place and we have a 2-way tie.
That's understandable.
The third ability. So we have stealth, martial artist, and the third ability is called telepathic precognition.
Oh.
For 1
I feel
point.
like I was looking at this recently.
You may have been. Do Cory and Dustin, do you guys have guesses? Please don't say them out loud, but do you have guesses?
I do.
Okay.
What about you, Dustin?
I'm trying to think who's a telepath.
I do, but I'm not sure if the character I'm thinking of has both of those.
Okay.
I just have a guess.
All right, Devin.
All right.
I not only have a guess, I also know there's a theme.
Oh, okay. I will say, I know that you're probably not watching our Twitch right now, but a Twitch user has guessed and guessed correctly.
Oh, is it Mantis? Is that her name?
Did you say Mantis? There is no Mantis in MCP at the moment.
No, who?
It's okay. Nobody knows what's in MCP at the moment.
I do.
She's one of the Guardians. Oh, but she's not in the game. You're saying, okay. You know who I'm talking about, or guessing after. Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
she is a character.
I'm stumped on this one, so I'm gonna have to be last place here and take the pass.
No guesses. No guesses.
All right. Well, I'll throw out a guess.
Okay. All right.
Stealth martial artist.
Telepathic precognition. Telepathic precognition. So she's
Psylocke.
Oh, he guessed it. He got it, boys. Psylocke.
No,
you got it.
I honestly didn't know she had stealth.
Yeah, she's got stealth.
I was looking at, because I just got her. Thanks to you, actually.
Oh, yeah? That's awesome. I didn't know that, but that is very convenient. So we do have a lightning round, a 4th round, because we have it tied up 3 ways at 11. I'm going to
I have a suggestion for the lightning round.
Go ahead. What do you got?
Do a card backwards.
Do a card from the top?
Yeah, from the top. Skip the name, but 3 physical, 3 energy. And then whoever gets it first, just, takes it.
Ooh, okay. I like that idea.
Okay.
Let's go with that. And it's got to be somewhat hard. Unfortunately, what happens is the builders or the spenders usually give away the character pretty heftily. But what I'll do is I'll take some pauses each time as I'm going.
Are we gonna buzz in?
Yeah, I'm gonna say like a row, and then I'll pause, and then I'll have you guys guess.
By the time we get to the builder, that's like 6 things already.
It is absolutely.
There's a strong possibility we figure it out, I think.
I think so as well. All right. I think I've selected one that the builder might not give it away immediately. All right, you guys ready? I will take a small pause and give you all a chance to guess after each line here. The first thing that I have to share is physical defense 3, energy defense 3, mystical defense 3.
Iron Fist.
Wow.
I have a guess for Iron Fist, and I have a guess for, what did you say, Cory?
Baron Zemo.
Both of those are incorrect. Aaron, would you like to add anything?
Yes. Crystal.
That is incorrect. We have 3 incorrect guesses so far on the board. We have Crystal, Baron Zemo, and Iron Fist. Those are not this character. The next thing we have is 5 stamina, 4 threat. Guesses? No guesses.
Cory. Corvus Glaive.
That is incorrect. Dustin, do you have anything? 5
3
seconds.
3 3, 5 stamina.
4 threat.
No.
No
Go ahead.
guesses. Aaron, any guesses? 5 seconds.
Heimdall.
That is incorrect. So
That's a
on the
3
board
threat.
we have 3-3-3 on defenses, 5 stamina, 4 threat, not Baron Zemo, not Crystal, not Heimdall, not Iron Fist. Size 2, medium move. Once again, 3-3-3, 5 stamina, 4 threat, size 2, medium move. Guesses? Ten
The
seconds.
3 3 is throwing me off.
Shang-Chi.
It is not Shang-Chi.
Yeah.
5 seconds.
No guess.
Time's up. All right.
Yeah.
Defenses 3-3-3, stamina 5, threat 4, size 2, medium move. The builder. It is physical. It is called tactical takedown.
Black Widow
Steve
2.
Guess of Black Widow 2 is not correct.
Shit.
Steve 2.
Steve
said
2 is
fourth threat.
incorrect. Dustin, any guess before I continue? 5 seconds.
No, I'm good.
All right. The builder called tactical takedown is range 5 with 5 dice, 0 cost.
Winter Soldier Operative.
Incorrect. Dustin, Aaron, anything? 10 seconds.
Taskmaster.
Taskmaster is
What?
incorrect.
One of the Killmongers.
That is incorrect.
Okay.
Once again, from the top, defenses 3-3-3, stamina
I keep
5,
guessing.
4 threat, size 2, medium move. Builder is physical. It is tactical takedown. It is range 5 with 5 dice, 0 cost. It is a gainer. After this attack is resolved, the character gains 1 power.
What was the name again?
It is called tactical takedown.
Who has a range 5 builder? It's 5 dice.
The effect of after the attack, one more thing before I allow my guesses. It is a crit trigger called Tranquilized. After this attack is resolved, the target character gains the root special condition. Guesses, you have 10 seconds.
I'm going to say Black Widow 3.
That is incorrect.
So it's a range 5 with a root trigger?
Connor has guessed Ghost Spider, and that is incorrect. It is range 5 with a root trigger. It is a gainer. You gain 1 power after the attack is resolved. It is 0 cost. Range 5, 5 dice. Tactical takedown, physical.
Is this Nova? Is this the new one?
This is not a new character.
Okay.
Dang, this is a good one because this is really hard.
All right, no guesses. I am moving on. The builder has a second trigger. If you get a crit and a wild, it's called Bringing You In. After the attack is resolved, this character may push the target character toward this character's small. Guesses? 10
Daredevil?
seconds. That is incorrect.
Medusa.
Medusa's incorrect. Last guess from Dustin.
Marvel.
Captain Marvel is incorrect. Moving on. From the top. 3-3-3, stamina 5, 4 threat, size 2, medium move, physical builder, tactical takedown, 5 dice, 5 range, 0 cost, gainer, you gain 1 power after the attack, tranquilized, you give the character on a crit, root, crit wild, you push them towards you small. The spender is called headshot. It is physical. It is range 5, 6 dice, 3 power cost. Guesses, you have 10 seconds.
Silver Sable.
Correct. You win the game.
Oh!
Good job, man.
You're right.
Wow, the
You're
new
right.
guy
no one's
takes
ever
it.
Looked at that. No one's looked at that character ever. You're right.
Yeah, no,
My buddy,
I knew this was going to be difficult.
sorry, the story behind why I guessed it was my buddy that was playing online with TTS likes characters that look a little more tactical, so we
Okay.
picked Silver Sable because she has a long range shot, and yeah, so I happen to remember that.
That's pretty good. It came in handy. A little bit of Marvel trivia. You win the game. You can knowingly call the other two. You have bragging rights on the other two when you go to the
take
swap
that
meet
action.
tomorrow.
I can't wait for. I'm super excited for the swap meet.
Yeah.
I hope to pick up a few choice pieces.
I'm
Awesome.
sure that they will be there.
Yeah, just for the record, pretty much anybody has bragging rights on me over MCP knowledge. So really, you just got him on Cory. He has things to lose.
It's true.
Yeah, Corey, I felt like probably should have known that somewhere in there. Uh,
The Silver Sable. There's a 6 month gap in my knowledge, and that is in that gap.
Silver Sable's in
Uh,
that gap.
Yeah,
She came out with Shang-Chi though, so you would
I
think that you would like
when
have
when I
looked at
wasn't playing.
Shang-Chi enough to have like glanced at her.
Nope.
She's kind of maligned. Most people don't really play her, and unless you have an affiliation that can give her power to do her cool tricks on other people, she doesn't usually have enough to power her kit.
Yeah.
that makes sense.
The 333 on a 4 thread is real sad.
That was what tripped me up. I was like, what?
Yeah.
What 4 threats are 333?
Like I was like, who sucks?
who who sucks that I haven't looked at, so we
Yeah.
can go from there. That's a good one.
That was a
All
really
right.
good lightning round.
Yeah, that was exciting. You guys actually put up a good fight, and I'm surprised, but the new guy took it. Good job, Aaron.
Thank you.
Good job.
Good job, man.
I'm
That
sure everyone was that listening to this was probably screaming at us.
actually,
So
Connor guessed Ghost Spider, and then when I released it, he said he thought that she was a new release, and I was like, I told him, she's been out for like what 4 or 5 months at this point
yeah.
with Shang-Chi. How long's Shang-Chi been out? He's been out
She's
for a
been
while.
on the shelf
Yeah, she's been
for
on the
that.
shelf for that long. That's true.
Yeah.
That concludes the Marvel game. I know that you wanted to leave us because you don't care about us, Dustin, but we are gonna move on to talk about some new releases.
You know, the new guy has won my affection, and Cory and me have always been buds. So really, it's just you that I'm
Okay, that makes it better. Thank you
All
for
right.
that. That's
Yeah.
that's
Thanks
what.
for letting me dip out a bit early.
Yeah, no problem, man. You're good to go.
Thanks for coming.
Yeah. Bye.
See ya.
Bye, Felicia.
You got him. He was on
Got
his way out. You got him.
him.
All right. Uh, Aaron, Corey, we are gonna take a look at these two new characters. They're not out yet, but their cards have been revealed, and they're pretty exciting, I think. The two that I'm speaking of specifically, are Nova and Man Thing. Both of their cards revealed in the last week. We're gonna start off with Man Thing. He is a 3 threat. He's affiliated with Defenders and Midnight Suns. He's gonna tie into like the monster core that came out recently with Mummy and Werewolf and Frankenstein and Dracula. They're kind of staying on theme. He comes out in a box with Elsa Bloodstone, who's going to be a Midnight Suns leader, but sure, her card has not been revealed yet. He, like I said, he's a 3 threat, and he also had a tactics card spoiled called what was that? What is that called? It is Dimensional Quagmire. Before we get too much into his card, I kind of want to talk about Dimensional Quagmire because it sparked some interest from people not playing Midnight Suns or uh, or Defenders because it is unaffiliated and reactive, so anybody that takes Man Thing could do it. Um, the tactics card is as follows: during the power phase, it's a reactive, so he's doing it at the start of the turn. An allied Man Thing may spend 2 power to play this card. While this character is not dazed until the end of the round, once per turn, the first time each turn an enemy character begins a movement within range 3 of Man Thing and ends that movement not within range 3 of him, roll a die. If the result is a crit, wild, or hit, so 50% chance, uh, place the enemy character within 3 of Man Thing. So if they try and leave his range, he can just put them back in range. And just being within range 3 means he could pick someone up that's left and put them completely on the other side of where they left from. What do you guys think?
Highly tactical.
I think it's actually pretty scary. The amount of distance you can move, because I mean, if you're moving outside of range 3, they could end up in the other end of the corner. of the map,
Absolutely.
and you get placed on the other side of Man Thing, while you have three other characters just waiting to beat the shit out of them. I think it's pretty good. The thing that worries me is like always, it's always these power phase planning cards. It gives like your opponent so much opportunity to work around it.
Yeah.
But and then not only that, I mean it's also a 50% chance whether they're
True.
getting away or not.
Yeah,
Um,
that's a good point.
and you also have the caveat while he's not dazed, so like they could end up going with something else and just trying to daze him before their character that needs to run away can run away. That said, even with all those caveats, I think it is a pretty powerful card.
Yeah, my thoughts for kind of what you're talking about here. If, the not dazed part, the 50% part, this really is gonna have its hate. Like it's magical Christmas land. Its best use is gonna come up, in my perception, when there's a black cat or a Spider Woman or a Miles Morales
Exactly.
next to you that is gonna try and make you drop your token, steal it, and then run away. And
Yep.
you can't really stop them from doing that steal, but there's a 50% chance that Black Widow or Black Cat or Spider Woman tries to move long away from you, and then you just put them right back where they don't want to be in the middle of all your
Yeah.
characters, and then you
Yeah.
essentially get a chance to mess them up. Um,
Yeah.
so
This,
go ahead, Aaron.
this might be my new guy brain here, but I kind of like the idea of almost putting Man Thing far enough away from a character like that, or I guess what I'm trying to say is on a defensive use, like putting him where if Hulk tries to move out of his range and attack a friendly, you get to grab Hulk and like throw him super far away.
I mean,
Does
I
that
think
make
that
sense
could definitely be
in that bubble?
useful for like, hey, you need to focus on my Man Thing, right? Because Man Thing, we haven't gotten to his card yet, but and it also sounds like an innuendo every time I talk about him. Uh, but he has an ability where if they attack him, they get incinerate afterwards. So it is a card that's gonna say, hey, focus down my Man Thing, and you can't leave this area until you do so, or there's a 50% chance you can't leave this area until you do so. So I think that's also valid of the like you just yeet your Man Thing into like the backgammon or something, and they have to either daze him like or risk that 50% chance to make it to your side of the field.
Yeah, like if you have a character that's holding an extract that's important, they have to
Right.
get past Man Thing first before they can even get to it.
It's like a
Also,
it's like a weird bodyguard almost in that
yeah,
use.
it's very exactly. Also, fun fact: uh, Man Thing's first appearance in Marvel Comics is giant-sized Man Thing #1.
Oh man, that is an innuendo for sure.
100%.
They did not hold back with
Nope.
innuendos on this guy. So
The 70s was wild, man.
that's funny. I so like tactics card concerned, I think it's a solid B. I think this has place, but its magical Christmas blend is against an affiliation that wants to steal your extracts and run away. I think that's its best case scenario.
Yeah.
I think there are potentially a place for you to use it defensively to protect a group of your characters, but if you're trying to stop a Hulk from going one way, he could just smack the shit out of you. Um, and I don't think it's going to be as big a deal. But it does mean they have to focus him down, which is kind of a neat addition. I'd say solid B. What do you think, Cory? Tactics card?
I think it's in that B territory. It's um so when I started playing Asgard too, everybody started off by running a lot of um, Trickster's Boon,
Okay.
and on paper it seems like a really good card, and you use it a couple times, you're like, okay, well, it's really niche already, and then it may not even come up to where it actually helps you out all that much. So I think it's kind of in that territory. It's very literally a 50-50 shot, and you're spending 2 power during the power phase, which is a little difficult. But yeah, I still think it has uses.
Nice, nice. Uh,
After
official grade, Corey. What are you giving it?
I'm giving it a B as well.
Okay. What about you, Aaron? Anything to
I'm
add?
actually Yeah, I'm actually gonna say low B, high C,
Okay.
and the reason I say more in the C realm is because I have been pushed around a lot by you guys, and you could push Man Thing out of the range, or throw him or something like that. And I'm looking at the card here,
That's a good
and
point.
it's a
If you just
movement,
move
Yeah.
him
right?
out, if you just throw him away or displace him instead of yourself,
Yeah.
then you're not gonna begin a movement within 3. So I I have to agree. That's some good insight. I didn't even think about.
Yep.
You just move him instead of yourself, and then you don't have to worry about it.
Right, and so that's what kind of makes it a little bit more in the C realm for me is like because it's got the 50% on it, because you have to play it during the power phase and they can play around it. There's just definitely a lot of things that I feel like just lend to it not being as effective as you'd like it to be. But it's still a card that kind of does force your opponent to do something about him.
Yeah. Yeah, it still requires them to push or throw or place him out of the way. That's a good point. Good insight. Um, so let's go over to his card real quick. He is a 3 threat. He's a 3/3/4, so a little better against Mystic, which is Midnight Sun special, of course. And he is 6 stamina, 3 threat, size 3 actually. Small move though, uh, and I believe he's on a 50 millimeter base, so he's small move, medium base. He has healing factor 2, which is kind of cool. In the last 3 months, we've gotten 2 healing factor characters in Midnight Suns where there were 0 before. He has immunity to Hex and Stun. Um, he has a range 3 5 dice builder. Its trigger will push a size 3 toward himself, small. It is a wild hit. And then he has a spender, range 3, 7 dice mystic, 3 power cost. After the attack is resolved, they auto get incinerate poison. No triggers there for that. It just happens. He has a superpower called Guardian of the Nexus of All Realities. It says choose this character or another allied character within 3 of it, and place the chosen character within 3 of its current position. Character can be affected by the superpower only once this per turn. So it's one of those superpowers like Royal Decree, or there's a few others. You can use it multiple times, just not on the same character. So he could theoretically place himself and an ally range 3 up the board, which is really good. But we are talking about 3 power here, so I'm not sure how often he'll have all that. His passive superpowers, one of them called All Who No Fear Burn at the Man Thing's Touch. This is the one I mentioned earlier. Um, if he is within range 2 and an enemy character is dealt damage, let's see, after an attack made by this character is resolved, or after an attack targeting him is resolved, if damage was dealt and the enemy character is within 2, the enemy character gains Incinerate. So as long as he's in range 2 and he's dealing damage, he's handing out Incinerate. Vice versa, if someone else is hitting him within range 2, he's also handing out Incinerate reactively. That's really good. And his second passive is it's called Moss and Mud Swamp. When this character is defending, enemy characters do not roll additional dice for crit results in their attack roll. So he's got like the a little bit worse Black Cat version of the defense here. Yeah, I assume you guys are also looking at this card. What do you guys think? First thoughts here.
I think he's going to be a little bit tankier. Sorry if you don't mind me jumping in. I think he's going to be a little bit tankier than you think. I like the healing factor 2 a lot. 2 great immunities, in my opinion. And like you said, the 3 cost on the ability is a little high, but otherwise, like, kind of solid.
Yeah, having played a lot of Domino, he is going to be very hard to take down because Domino has the same ability. where you're not rolling in extra dice for crits. So you're really going to have to stick him very hard without adding crits. And then he's
Yeah.
also got healing factor too with 6 health.
It's a big deal.
It's a big deal.
Yeah, I think there are still characters that can deal with him, but with the healing factor and the 3 defense, they have to pop off. And when they're doing that, they're getting incinerate. So if it takes 2 characters, it could be pretty useful.
Yeah.
As a whole card, after going through those things, I'm gonna give him a solid B plus. That's my take on this character. I don't think he's A or S, but I think he's good, and I think he's going to be seen in those 2 affiliations. As far as splashes, I'm not entirely sure. What about you, Cory?
So I'm seeing uh, Magneto being very happy to have Man Thing
Getting placed around the board. Yeah, that's valid.
getting placed around the board. And it will help out with his power generation as well, because he does need a little help with power generation. Just because the only way he's gaining power is just off a 5-die builder.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I think he's pretty good actually. I really do think he's. I'm trying to decide whether he's going to be better in Suns or better in Defenders. Defenders really needs that Guardian of the Nexus to help chase down other characters, with characters that also have charge attached to them. So you're double tapping something that with a charge character.
Yeah. Well,
Um,
my thought on that though is that he is a small move medium base, so he's not really
yeah,
getting any extra power until turn 2, where he's double
yeah,
moved to the middle. In Suns, he can probably get a hit off first turn with a small move
yeah,
bump and range 3. He's not going to
yeah.
sit on the objective, but at least he'll get maybe some power to place himself next
Yeah,
turn.
that's true.
So,
Yeah,
what are you thinking? Final grade?
yeah. I'm thinking he's sitting somewhere in the B territory. I do think he's going to be super tanky, and he's going to be able to survive a few hits and then gain a little bit of power to move around with Guardians of all reality.
Yeah.
Um, his attacks aren't anything to write home about, honestly.
Pretty basic
But
stuff here.
yeah, they're pretty basic. With the double, the hit wild trigger is not super appealing on a 5-die
I
builder.
I think the big
And,
thing
and
is giving out incinerate in range 2.
yeah,
Like on his attacks, having that extra auto incinerate if they're in range 2, if it deals damage, that's kind of good. That's really what he's
yeah,
going to want to be doing.
right. Which means he would help out defenders just even that much more, push their attrition.
Yeah, that's a
So
good point. That's a good point. All right,
yeah,
so this all be from you. And Aaron, follow us up here. What do you got for us? What are you thinking?
Alrighty. So, like I mentioned before, I like his healing factor too. I like his mini stun. Um, I also really like his spender being an eyeball. I think that gives him a nice mix of physical and eyeball, seeing as how a lot of characters have lower eyeball. I mean, it depends what you play against, of
That's
course,
fair.
but
yeah,
It's nice to have
and
a
being
range.
yeah, the fact that he has 3 on both is really quite nice. Um, the fact that he's 3 points is pretty awesome
Yeah.
from just my initial look at him, and I wonder if he wouldn't play really well with like Apocalypse.
Well, I mean,
I don't know that much.
he's not a servant. Apocalypse.
Does that mean he can't go in the Apocalypse team then?
It means he can be in the affiliation, but he doesn't benefit from any of the horseman cards.
Right. Okay. Fair.
So he's diminished a bit because he's basically not getting a leadership in that affiliation.
Oh, I see. Okay. I was thinking you could splash him in on the team and he could hand out uh, incinerate and poison and make Apocalypse stronger. But I don't know that much about Apocalypse. Just been looking at him lately.
He's an interesting character, but he really wants people only affiliated with his squad because he gets a lot of abilities from having horsemen on the field. He's an interesting one. Takes a little bit of book work to get into, but once you do, he's been winning quite a few tournaments.
yeah,
Okay. Cool. Cool. If I had to give him a rating, I would agree with the B, and then I don't know that much about Midnight Suns or Defenders really, but I wonder if he couldn't hold a solid B plus in those two affiliations.
Oh, for sure. I think he probably gets a little bump in those two affiliations for sure. Ha, the bump. I made a pun fun. All right,
Very
let's
funny.
let's move along here as we get close to the end. We got about 5 minutes left. Let's go over Nova. Real quick here, I'm gonna read off some of his abilities. He has two tactics cards. We've got one unaffiliated active. During his activation, it's called Call for Backup. He can spend 3 power, chooses one of the following. He can do an ability called Move Along Citizen. Choose a secure objective token within 2 of him. Push each enemy character contesting that objective small. 3 power during his activation. I guess it has some use, but that seems kind of eh. The other ability that he can choose from on this card is called Stop in the Name of the Law. Each enemy character that's holding an extract token gains the slow condition. Now, this one does not have a range, and it's each enemy
Nope.
character. So I think this side is going to be used way more than that first side because he is going to slow down some spiders. That is my take. I would say this is going to be a key card for counterplay and specific matchups. I'm not going to say it's an A, but I think this is a B plus and should be in the 10 if you're going to plan on playing any spiders whatsoever. Thoughts from you two, real quick?
All right. So on the first examination, this looks like the perfect card to counter Web Warriors. And then you remember that they have Aunt May's wheat cakes, which just removes the slow condition.
Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah, because I thought the same thing. I'm like, finally a thing for spiders. But no, it's just what this card is going to do is force people when they see that you have Nova, they're like, okay. I have to put wheat
That's a
cakes in my 5.
good point. I didn't think about that, but it's not something I usually see at the table either.
Exactly, because there's not a lot of things that are giving out mass slow other than all webbed up. Which so basically it was a card for the mirror, but now it's a card for the mirror and Nova.
It's a good point. But I mean, if a character's making you change a tactics card on your team, that's a win in my book.
It's not bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean a tactics card for a tactics card when Nova. We'll get into it, but I think Nova is actually a really good character.
Okay.
But then you have something attached to it like this, and it's great against things that are not spiders.
Valid.
I mean, there are plenty. There are
Absolutely.
plenty other extract teams. So, yeah, I think it's a great card.
That's awesome.
So
All right, Aaron, what do you got on this one?
okay,
We got a little bit of time left.
yeah, three's in that mid range. So that seems decent. I think there's not a lot that I could say as a new player about this card that you guys haven't already said. The global
Fair.
stop in the name of the law is very strong, and then I do like that move along citizen might be sort of I'm going second or last character here, and I'm clearing this objective with just this card alone and not having to do anything fancy.
The fact that you have that option is nice.
Yes. Yeah, like that just puts a little icing on the cake. But Stop in the Name of the Law is the clear winner here on this card.
I would absolutely agree. This is a good card, and it's gonna have a specific use. I think it's gonna come in handy. And as a guardian, if you're bringing Nova, or even if you're not a guardian, because this is unaffiliated, I think you should take that card, just in the case you're playing a heavy scenario team. Um, I am gonna move right along to the other tactics card we've got for Nova. This one is also unaffiliated. It's called Veterans of the Annihilation War. It's a reactive, another during the power phase, but this one says an allied Gamora and an allied Richard Rider, that is Nova, may play this card. So no power costs, but it does have to be done in the power phase. This round, Gamora gains the following superpower. It's called World Mine Uplink. When she is defending against an attack or making a dodge roll, it can re-roll up to 2 of its defense or dodge dice. So essentially, it's given her a spider sense. And then this round, Richard Rider Nova gains the following superpower. This is called Star-Crossed Strike. When this character makes an attack, if there are one or more wild results in the attack roll, it may change one die to a hit. This is, I believe it's what, Modoc's leadership basically for a turn.
Well, it's Gamora's ability on her builder.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so this card, as I understand it, doesn't cost anything, right?
No, this
Correct.
is just a during the power phase play. I think the two abilities, one of them, the changing dice is cool, but you got to roll wild, so you might get like one or two on a 5 or 6 dice, so you get an extra attack. We've seen this ability before with like Valkyrie and Apocalypse's ability for War or Fury. I forget which one it is. It's cool. I don't know how much it's worth taking a tactics card for, but I could see the Spider Sense on Gamora being valuable. Um, and having
I
both
do
on
like
one
that.
tactics card, I don't know. I don't know. This card's an unknown for me. I'm gonna just off the hip shoot a B- at it.
Yeah. All I have to say about this card is this also 2 weeks ago disproved my hot take that this was going to be a leadership card for Nova for
Okay.
Guardians.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a D tier card.
Oh, you think it's even worse?
Yeah, it's not great.
Okay. All right. What about you, Aaron?
Yeah, I'd plug it in the C to D as well.
Okay. You
It
guys are
just
lower on
even though
this.
it's cheap, but because it doesn't cost anything, but yeah, it doesn't feel like it impacts massively. Although I do like the extra defense for Gamora. That's nice.
My saving grace on it is it costs no power and it doesn't require you be affiliated to Guardians. That's kind of what I'm looking at
That's
here.
fair.
If you want to take Gamora
Yeah.
and Nova together, this is kind of a cool card to mesh in there. But it's not gonna shake anyone's world, or it's not good for a specific matchup. It's just a
Yeah.
cool card.
And there's also no range restriction on it either. So you just play it.
Yeah, they don't have to be close together like Wolverines or Brothers in Arms. Uh, it's okay. I like it, but it's not anything special to write home about.
I'm just mad it's not a leadership card, so I hate it.
Guardians would be cool to have a 5 threat with leader. They might make a spark back into the top 5. But that's a discussion for later. Let's go
Yeah.
into Nova's card. He's 4 defense across the board. He's 7 stamina, 5 threat, size 2, long move on a 35 mil base, so small base, long move. He's got a builder, or sorry, this is not a builder. This is a gainer, so 1 power after he attacks. Range 2, 5 dice, 0 cost. It has a wild throw. It is energy. The throw is for size 4 or less, which is cool. It's throw away. Um, I it's all right, but I don't think this is the attack you're going to see from Nova most of the time. I think it's the second attack, which is also a gainer. It's called Gravimetric Cannon. This is a range 4 energy, 6 dice, 0 cost. After the attack is resolved, you gain a power. It is an auto push if you do damage for any size. So we're pushing away Sentinels, we're pushing away Hulks. This is a Shuri range 4 plus. So really, really high value in my book, personally. He also has a trigger at the bottom there, Wild Shield, so kind of a rare trigger. You're looking at like 20% or less with six dice. After the attack is resolved, the target character gains Judgment, an ability we haven't seen on many characters at all in like since Scarlet Witch and Ronin, which are the only two that I can think of that give out this ability.
Yeah.
Uh,
There's only 3.
the last ability, his spender, is a beam energy, range 5, 7 dice, 5 cost. After all attacks are generated by this, or sorry, after all attacks generated by this attack are resolved, place this character within one of the last character targeted by this attack. So a range 5 place 1 off the last targeted character. That's a long distance. I think we were talking about that in the chat the other day. He also has a trigger on the bottom of it to push uh, after the attack is resolved. So if you wanted to, you could push that furthest character away and then place off of them for probably the longest distance move on an attack in the game at the moment. And his superpowers are as follows. We got faster than light. He gets to, it's like a hit and run, but it's a place 2 instead of a move. So he makes an attack and then he places himself within 2. That's kind of a weird hit and run, but I guess if you gave him hit and run and he has a long move, that might be too much, maybe? I don't know.
It's definitely too much, especially when you get to Nova Force.
Uh, the other ability he has, it's called Xandarian World Mind. It's a reactive. It costs X, which means up to a certain amount usually, but this one doesn't look like it has a limited amount. It says when this character or an allied character within 3 makes a defense or dodge roll during the modify step, this character may spend up to 3. Okay, so there is a limit. Up to 3. For each power spend, this character or the allied character may roll one of its defense or dodge dice. It can only be used once per turn. So this is like feels like a Cable almost, or a Doctor Strange, where you're adding or rerolling dice on defense to help out your partners.
Yeah.
The last ability, Nova Force. After this character makes a move action during its activation. Oh, I guess this is probably why Faster Than Light isn't a move action because of this ability down here.
Yeah.
After the effect is resolved, after it makes that move action, it gains 2 power and may remove all special conditions from itself. Add 3 dice to the next attack roll made as part of a Nova Burst or Lightspeed Lance. So that is his range 2 gainer or his spender made this activation. This character can be affected by the superpower only once per turn. So
That's insane.
this
All right,
is
hot take.
this is a reminder of a Juggernaut or a Mighty Thor, where they have to make a move action and then get a big benefit out of it. Um, I think so. Before everyone goes crazy about Nova Force, it does say the next attack roll. So if you do move, get the power, and add the dice to the next attack roll, you're not adding dice to the whole beam, just the first person you target with that beam. I've
Yeah.
definitely seen people make that mistake before.
Yeah.
Um, Still a really good ability, but it opens itself up for like a character that moves once, attacks once. I don't know, unless you're gonna do your spender. I don't know if that's worth it, especially since he has a long move. What about you guys? I've gone over his stat sheet. I think he is probably so in affiliation. I think he's a solid character. You should take him. Uh, I'm gonna say an A. I think out of affiliation, he's a little bit further down, maybe a like a B, a flat B. What do you guys think?
Take it away, Cory.
So I like him quite a bit. The question that comes to me is whether or not he's going to be in Web Warriors, which it looks like he's going to be a Web Warrior.
Really?
Yes. Uh, yeah, it's showing in here in Web Warriors. He gets certain benefits, like
Huh.
just in the text here. Because yeah, he is a technically a Web Warrior. In his earlier iterations.
Hmm.
I think he's actually going to become the default 5 in
Wow.
Web Warriors.
Over
I
ASM.
think he I think he just offers better things than ASM. ASM sometimes is just too complicated for no good reason and just throws dice on top of dice. That's really all I see ASM do for me.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. So
Uh,
I think he's just straight up better than
So you
ASM.
think he's the pick for Web Warriors? Uh,
I think so.
who
he
or what is ASM?
ASM is Amazing
Amazing.
Spider-Man. He's the current 5 threat
Ah,
in webs.
okay.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, Aaron. What about you? What are you thinking?
Definitely new guy hot take. He looks like a lot of fun. I love that he's 14 health overall. That's very juicy on a long move. With 4 defense on everything, he just looks so solid to me.
Yeah.
You brought up a really good point about Nova Force at the end there that did temper my. I kind of popped off with like a, oh, that sounds insane. But you pointed out the first attack, but it's a beam, right? So you get to choose
Which
whichever
one?
person you
Yeah.
want to hit with that attack. I mean, you can definitely target the like, I gotta kill this thing or do big damage to.
But no, if you do that, let's say you do your beam, you want your extra dice on that last guy. Whoever your last target is where you're placing from. So if you want all your dice into that last guy,
Mm,
but you don't want to place off somebody in the middle, it kind of is a balance of like, all right, well, I guess I'm going to get my extra dice here against this guy that's right next to me when I actually wanted my attack dice at the guy at the end of the line. And now I'm just going to end up placing back there, but I didn't get my extra dice. Like, you got to make that decision.
that's a really good point. I did not think about that at all. Um, okay, that's fair. He doesn't have a. So these are gainers. So he doesn't have a builder,
That's correct. He only gains, but
but then
like,
he
but
gets
he's got that
two,
Nova
right?
Force, right? So if he's moving, so turn one, he's probably gonna move. He's gonna do a gainer, and so at the end of turn one, he's got 4 power. So
Damn, that's pretty
turn
good.
two, he's got 5 power, which means at the start of turn two, he can do his light speed lance, and if he wanted to, he could move before he does it. So start of turn two, if you have priority, you can move, set up a good beam 5, and then just throw a 10 dice spender into the front guy, and then a 7 dice spender into the back guy, pushing them away and placing yourself back there if you really want to.
Or
And
he's
that
got plenty of power for those rerolls too.
That's also true. Can just be defensive.
the push can happen on each character he hits in the beam, right?
That's correct.
It's wild.
Yeah, I think that's a very powerful spender. We're gonna see that quite a bit.
So, last part of my take is not having a builder definitely tempers him a little bit
Yeah, I mean,
from being like insane, from
I,
being insane.
I think, I think if he had, if like his 6 dice or his 5 dice was a like builder instead of a gainer, um, I don't know, because he's still getting a bunch of power. He's gonna move that first turn. He's going to, and you have, because you have to. You're not gonna be in range for anything. So he's already gonna have 3 power at the end of the first move on turn one. I don't know that it's gonna make too much difference for him.
Well, I guess I was thinking that I like Xandarian World Mind a lot
Yeah, yeah,
because I like being able to characters that can both punch and support.
right.
But he'll have to choose between what he wants to do, whether he's
Yeah, he
going to
can't
do
do both.
Lightspeed Lance or he wants to do Xanadarian Warlord. So, World Mind. So that I think is that tempering factor, that choice that makes him not quite as strong,
I
but
guess
he's
that makes
still
sense.
just
Yeah,
such a solid stat line. Like holy crap.
yeah, I agree. I agree. He's gonna have to make a decision. Is he popping off with that spender turn two, or is he gonna be more defensive with his world mind and save his power for that? Yeah,
Yeah, I
that's.
think it depends on the affiliation you're playing in.
I would agree. Yeah, I think if you're playing spiders, you're going for that defensive. You're probably not being aggressive. If you're bringing them
Yep.
along in like say guardians, you're gonna go for that offensive.
Can you
Yep.
actually speak to that for a second again about the spiders? Is that like he's going to officially be Web Warriors or he's going to be splashed?
So it looks like in the article they're mentioning him as a part of Web Warriors.
Oh,
So
interesting.
yeah, in Web
Interesting.
Warriors, yeah.
Well, I'm curious to see if he actually comes out in Webware. That'd be a big change for them. That he's a good
Yeah,
attrition piece, and Web Warriors don't have a lot of that.
no. Yeah, I think that's definitely going to help them out quite a bit. It gives them something they don't have and more of what they already have. So
Exactly.
just in a different package. The other question that I have is if he has any other homes as well. The other home that I could see him being in is also Defenders. So they don't call
Interesting.
it out specifically in here, but it's definitely a spot he could land as
Oh,
well.
you mean like being affiliated in those?
Yes. Yeah.
That's a good idea. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, maybe. I'm not sure. I'm not
Yeah.
100% hip on all the Marvel lore, but if he's affiliated with Avengers, I don't think he brings too much to the kit of Daredevil because he wants to be. He probably wants to just be at that range 4 there. But the rerolls are
Right.
cool. Doctor Strange Defenders, I guess he could be handing out Hex. Uh,
Yeah.
they're not, you're not crazy, but whatever.
No. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think Nova's gonna, especially if he ends up in Spiders, but I think he's gonna shake them things up for Guardians for sure. I'm excited to see him.
Yeah. Do you have, I can't think of anywhere in particular that I would splash him over a couple other different splashable fives. Like I think most spots, if I'm trying to splash like a five, I'm looking at Namor
Yeah.
just for the things he
Yeah, the long
brings to
move,
the table.
medium base, Namor
Yeah.
is going to have a lot more ability here. I think when I look at him in my choice affiliation of Midnight Suns, if he makes that move turn one, he's going to have 3 power, which means I can bump him and pick up an extract or be on a point turn one
Yeah.
without using 2 actions, so I can take a shot without losing any efficiency. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, a shot at range 4 too.
Range 4 with an extra 3 dice. So a 9 dice range 4 that gains pushes them
So
away, right?
so he
Or
doesn't
no,
get
sorry, yeah,
the
that doesn't work on that one. It would only work if they were
yeah,
close and I did my Nova Burst. So it'd be an
right.
8 dice range 2. That's still not bad. If they're already on that point, I could threaten an 8 dice range 2.
It's not the worst thing I've ever heard of. That's
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah. That's pretty scary. Pretty scary. I'll have to
Yeah.
try them out. But yeah, that is all I've got today for us, guys. Do you have anything before we close it up?
Yeah.
Nope.
You have something, Aaron?
Can I ask one question,
Got it,
both
buddy.
of you,
Yeah, what's up?
if we have a couple more minutes? How? Because I've been wondering this. How do you guys um, gauge the threat values of a character as far as value goes?
You mean like what do we think it should be versus what it is?
No, I mean like when you're trying to fit somebody into your team and you're looking at these like 3, 4, 5. Do you just pick characters based on
Oh, I see what you're saying. Like
like does it fit? Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
how many fours, how many threes, how many fives, that kind of thing?
Kind of. I
Well,
realize I didn't ask the question as best as I could, but really, how do you
I get
evaluate these characters with their threat values? Like how do you know when you want to take that 6 or when you need 2 5s or something?
Gotcha. I think a big part of that comes with the experience on your own team, because there are definitely teams that do better being tall, like having less characters with higher threat, and then there are teams that do better going wide. But uh, it's a lot of experimentation and what you're up against. Like if I'm going against spiders and I have a tip like an attrition-y team, I either need to hopefully hit one of my secures that's going to force the spiders down the middle, or I'm going to have to go wide and try and keep up with the spiders with people that have charges and chases and things like that. But vice versa,
Okay.
if I'm on the spider side and I come up against a attrition team, hopefully I can put enough bodies on the board that they just can't kill them all. It's really, it's like a balancing act, rock paper scissors at the table kind of thing.
Yeah, or if I'm playing Asgard and I have priority, I'm gonna try to go with like three characters for most part, or a low number of characters, so I maintain priority while still dazing a character a turn. Keeping priority with like a team like that is super important. So you try to keep a low number of models on the field, so typically looking at higher threats.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. But that question in particular is like a whole episode first.
Yeah, it
Because
absolutely is. We can definitely
that's
fair.
dig further into that next week if you're around for it. But there is a lot to be said for picking the right teams and the right comp going into a matchup, and that's actually something we should get into, Corey. I'll present a couple examples of matchups, and we can get into what should you do here? What's the best pick here? Even without knowing what your opponent's going to pick, there are definitely some things going into a matchup that you should watch for, and things that you should like we were talking about with Nova's card, right? If you're a Spider player and you're coming up against a Guardians player that has Nova, oh shit, they have that card. It's going to slow my whole team. I definitely need to take Aunt May's weed cakes. Those are just like these decisions that you gotta, the micro decisions you gotta make while you're picking tactics cards to just watch out for. You don't want to get gotcha'd, right? You don't want to get caught
You
out.
do not.
All right, guys. Well, for our viewers, until next time, keep your eyes on the forecast and may your games always be sunny.